Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2021 Formula 2 season for round 5 in Monza. We've passed the halfway point of the season now, as we head into the second half of the season, I should say. So let's see what this round has in store for us. Monza is always an interesting one, and we qualify pretty well, up in third position rather, and yeah, that is decent news for us. Guan Yu Zhou will be on reverse grid pole for the first race of the weekend, so that is good news for his weekend. He'll be able to get off to a good start. But in the championship standings, we are second position behind Yuri Vips. Where did Vips qualify? He qualified well down the order, actually, down in 14th position, so Yuri Vips has a tough order this weekend to try and climb up the field to maintain his championship lead, because things are looking good for us up in third. So it'll be interesting to see how this weekend plays out. So let's just get into sprint race 1.
Welcome everybody to the heart of Italian motor racing, Monza. We're here with Formula 2 for what ought to be an extravaganza of excitement and action. Let's head to the start line and get underway. Monza is one of the fastest circuits in Formula 2, comprising some very long straights and tight chicanes. The engine spends so long at full throttle, in fact, that engine failures are not an uncommon sight here. On top of that, the 3.6 miles of track are pretty hard on the gearbox too. Turn 1 at Monza is famous, or should I say infamous, for serious contact and incidents, especially on the opening lap. What are your thoughts on that, Davide?
Yes, this chicane is a tricky one. A lot of time you see the more experienced drivers hold back from full throttle to keep themselves safe as everyone tries to squeeze into the racing line after the opening straight.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I will not let you down, Jeff. So it looks like it'll be a couple of clouds but no rain as we head into the first race of the weekend. We're starting down in 8th position with the reverse from qualifying. So we get underway for sprint race 1. It's actually a pretty good start for us as we head down towards the first corner. Let's see if we can find some space to work with. Are we going to go to the inside or the outside? Maybe the middle. No, we're just going to stay right where we are and lift off early. We'll go to the outside, a little bit too far to the outside though, onto the grass, and we have to go through the bollards left and right and left, but we can't actually make the turns there, and we go the slow way off onto the grass. And when we rejoin onto the circuit, we got very close there with Dan Ticktum, and hopefully there was no contact, but that has cost us a bunch of time, bunch of positions, and we're down into 14th. So it's been a disastrous start for us after an initially good getaway as we charged down the inside, almost running into the side of Yuri Vips, but we managed to get the car pulled up, and we make the move successfully on David Beckman in the Campos as we got a little bit wide through the first Lesmo. But it's been a pretty horrible start for us, all things considered. After getting away from the line well, we just couldn't find any space into the first corner, and we had to take avoiding action. And yeah, now we've dropped down currently in 13th, so let's see if we can do anything about a comeback drive starting right now. If we can get a good run out of Ascari, we might be able to have a run at Vips towards Parabolica or towards the first corner more likely. I've never been too great through Ascari, and you can see it again there, and we are now having to look behind us once again to David Beckman, so hopefully we can hold him off and push forwards again towards Yuri Vips. Actually really great exit out of the Parabolica for us, and as we sit in the slipstream of Vips, where are we going to go? Vips is going to defend to the inside slightly. We're just going to sit right under the rear wing of the high-tech car as we go to the outside, and let's see if we can find some space. No, we switch to the inside. Vips covers that off as well. He's moving all over the place, and Vips himself goes for a dive down the inside of Dan Ticktum, and now Vips round the outside. He might be able to get this move done actually, and he does. Great move, Yuri Vips, as now we sit behind Dan Ticktum. Can we get to the inside of the Brit as we head through Curve Grande towards the De La Rocha chicane? Let's see what we can do in the slipstream of Dan Ticktum. We're going to have a look to the left. We'll go down the inside of Ticktum and Vips, and we're going to grab them both in the same corner, and we'll make the move stick on the two of them. We move ourselves up into 11th position.
Cars in one go. Great job. Really impressive.
So yeah, it's been a good start to our comeback drive, and we're only one position away from being in the reverse grid range, which is probably a bare minimum target, though I'd like to have a lot more. We are ahead of Vips, so there is that, but we'll have a look at a replay of the start. Guan Yu Zhou gets away very well from the front row. Oscar Piastri in third, getting away well too. Bent Viscal not getting away well. He drops away right at the start there, and I think that's Marcus Armstrong going to the outside of Piastri down into the first corner. Can the Kiwi driver take second position? He gets a bit pinched on the inside. He can't carry the momentum, and Piastri will hold on to P2. And now the Australian driver will set his sights on Guan Yu Zhou and the race lead, which I'm sure he would very much love to take. So here we go then, back on board with ourselves. We're on the back of Jane Darubala. Can we do anything about the Indian driver here as we head into the Parabolica, or as it has recently been renamed to the Curva Alboreto, and we get past Jane Darubala there. Now, as we sit in the slipstream of Fittipaldi, can we do anything about the Brazilian? Down into the first corner to the inside of the Variante del Rettifilio, and we get through, and that's a hop over the curbs and contact there for Enzo Fittipaldi, and I think he's got damage with that contact on his front wing. We'll go to the onboard here, and you can see just, yeah, gave us a bit of a nudge there on the side pod. I think we got away with it, but unfortunately Fittipaldi I think has a bit of damage to his front wing, so he'll be falling away with a bit of a lack of pace at this stage. But yeah, I think we got away with it. But yeah, Fittipaldi, we gave him a bit of a squeeze on the inside. There was a fair amount of space there still, but he sort of cut the corner a bit, hopped over the curbs, and yeah, obviously when the front wheels aren't on the ground, you can't steer. So yeah, unfortunate, but we continue on, and we catch up to Richard Bashaw. We're going to make the move round the outside of Parabolica Curva Alboreto. I'm going to keep calling it Parabolica. I'll get used to the new name one day, but nonetheless, we get through on Richard Bashaw and bring ourselves up into 8th position, up into the points now in this first sprint race of the weekend. But Richard Bashaw trying to come back. We're late on the brakes, so we're going to have to leave him some space, but we'll hold on to the position and make sure we cover that one off. And now shift our attention to Christian Lundgaard. So here we go then on the back of Lundgaard through Curva Alboreto, and Lundgaard himself's on the back of Roy Nassani. So the Israeli driver is falling away in this one as we get the DRS open, and Christian Lundgaard looking very racy on the back of Nassani. Nassani defends. Lundgaard to the outside. We might go to the outside, make it 3 wide. No, there was just not quite a car width there, but Lundgaard around the outside of Roy Nassani. But Nassani is going to hold on with a nice flowing run through turn 2, and Roy Nassani makes that one work. And now we're on the back of Christian Lundgaard. Can we do anything about the Dane in the ART as we head through Curva Grande towards the Del Roger chicane? Can we get through on Nassani and Lundgaard? No, just Lundgaard. And I was getting a bit optimistic there. A big hop over the curb there as we got a little bit aggressive with the turn in. Here's the onboard with Lundgaard. Did we make any contact? No, we were already clear. So Lundgaard had to lift out of it a bit there to give us some room. But we were able to get away with it, and I don't think we damaged the car in that, but it is very possible when you go hopping over the curbs like that. But now we catch up through Nassani, we go to the outside, and we get through in a straight line and ahead of the Israeli driver, and we should be able to sweep around here to the inside of turn 2, and we get ahead of Roy Nassani and move ourselves up into 6th position. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead is on. Oscar Piastri's caught up to Guan Yu Zhou, now goes to the outside of turn 1. Can you get through on the inside of turn 2? Guan Yu Zhou on the outside with the more flowing run, maintains the position. Piastri slots into 2nd, but he's not going to give up, because on the very next lap he's going to go to the inside. As much as Zhou wants to squeeze, Piastri's got the nose in. Now he gets to the inside of turn 1, round the outside, the flowing run through turn 2, and Oscar Piastri takes the lead of the first sprint race here in Italy. Great move by Oscar Piastri to get that one done there, and he will now take maximum points with, or he won't. We have the fastest lap at the moment as we go for another big hop over the curbs there. That was a huge one, massive elevation off the ground, and we actually have to watch out because we're under pressure for a moment. But that is Roy Nassani being overtaken, actually almost letting Christian Lundgaard pass. So that's a bit of a weird one. He really lifted out there, but anyway, Théo Pourchaire retires from the race with a mechanical failure. so that's unfortunate for the Frenchman, and he is out of this one. So yeah, a few strange things popping up
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
in this one, but anyway, we continue on, and we are going to start putting pressure on Marino Sato, and there's a whole train of cars ahead of him that goes quite well, probably all the way up to the lead. Actually, there's not that many cars between us and the lead, so yeah, this fight at least goes up to the podium places, so maybe a podium is on the cards here if we can get through the traffic. So we're going to go for the move down the inside of Marino Sato, very deep on the brakes. We only just get a stop for the corner, but we do get through ahead of the Japanese driver, and now we focus on Bent Viscal as we sit right behind the Dutchman, the other Trident. So both Tridents running well here at their home race, as we're weaving around trying to get the move done on Bent Viscal, and we will get through cleanly around the outside and get ahead of Bent Viscal. Next up is the Dams car of Marcus Armstrong, and then it's Guan Yu Zhou and Piastri. That's it. That's the only three cars ahead of us. We catch up to Marcus Armstrong. We're going to have a look to the inside. Armstrong defends. We'll have a look to the outside, and we should be able to get this one done as well. Late on the brakes, and we get through around the outside. We gave ourselves a bit of a tight line for turn 2, but we managed to make the corner and get ahead of Marcus Armstrong.
Running in third, P3.
And yeah, went out onto the podium. So that is oh, that's a moment there for Marcus Armstrong through the chicane. That is a little bit awkward, but well, we do exactly the same thing, and we've actually run wide on the exit, and that's going to allow Marcus Armstrong back through, as well as the two Tridents of Bent Viscal and Marino Sato, and we've dropped ourselves back down into 6th position. So all that work we've just done is gone down the drain now, as we're already trying to re-overtake Sato into the second race mode. That was never going to work, but anyway, we continue on, and this is Christian Lundgaard slipping down the auto. You saw Roy Nassani basically let him past earlier, but now he's been swamped by Nassani, and I believe that's Richard Bashaw as well. So Christian Lundgaard's really struggling, and he might actually lose another position here to another few of the Red Bull cars. I think that's Dan Ticktum in the line there. So Christian Lundgaard is really struggling at the moment. There's clearly something's gone wrong in that car, but anyway.
Green flag.
And oh, that is an issue potentially. What's going to happen here? Oh, Robert Schwartzman into the wall. That is a massive crash for Robert Schwartzman, and he is out of this one. That's a big incident at the exit of Ascari. Just lost the rear end after running up over the curbs, I think, there, and Robert Schwartzman spins into the wall, and at this point you're just hoping that you don't get collected by another car. But no safety car for that. We just stayed on the green flag running, so the marshal's working very quickly down at the Ascari chicane and getting that cleared up. But yeah, big crash for Robert Schwartzman. Meanwhile, Sato and Viscal are fighting on the final lap of the race. Sato gets through, so the Japanese driver now leads the team here in Italy. So let's see what we can do. Can we get past Bent Viscal, or have they got enough to keep us at bay? We're going to go for the move down the inside. Viscal defends very awkwardly there, and we just couldn't get up the inside. He was just sort of wafting across the road quite slowly, sort of late in the piece there. So we were very limited with our options. We had to back out of that. So yeah, that made it very awkward for us. But it's the final lap of the race, so we need to get this done now. We've got the DRS, so can we do anything into the Ascari chicane? We've got the slipstream from Bent Viscal. Can we get up the inside? We're a long way behind, so we're not going to go for the move here. All we've got left is Curva Alboreto, so let's see what we can do as we get up over the curbs. That's really going to affect our run here, and that might mean we can't pass Bent Viscal. Let's see what we can do in the slipstream through the last corner. We need a good run here. Let's see as we get very close through the apex. Can we line up a nice exit here? We've got a good exit. Can we do anything? Bent Viscal with some fantastic drive off the corner though, and he's going to hold on. We're not going to have enough time. We've got to run, but we just can't get there, and Bent Viscal holds on to 5th.
We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
And it is 5th place for us. Oscar Piastri wins from 3rd on the grid. It was all in the start for Piastri, and getting the move done on Zhou.
A great win then for the Prema team today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of these tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
It looks like it's time for the victory ceremony once again, as I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prema today.
Well, it's a sprint race win for Oscar Piastri. Second place goes to Guan Yu Zhou, with Marcus Armstrong in third.
And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. And now a look at the team standings. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Meanwhile, Prema have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way to the top. After all this drama, you would be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So we close into Yuri Vips in the championship fight. A decent haul of points for Piastri brings him closer as well. Guan Yu Zhou gains a few places with Daleda out of the points and Porcher out of the race. And Zhou finishing in second. Decent haul of points helps him up the order as well. So things are closing up in the championship fight, and yeah, it will be interesting to see how the rest of the weekend plays out. The sprint race 2 is probably the one where we'll have our best opportunity to bring home big points relative to our rivals, because we will be starting a bit further up the order than Piastri and Zhou, and of course Vips as well. I don't actually know where Vips ended up finishing, but yeah, it will be a good opportunity for us to hopefully come through the field and finish ahead of our main rivals. So yeah, hopefully that is something that we can do throughout the sprint race. But yeah, Vips looking now, he did finish in 10th actually, so he will get reverse grid pole. That is actually very lucky for him that he was able to grab that 10th position towards the end of the race there. So Vips helped out by Lundgaard's misfortune. Lundgaard dropped actually down into 12th position, so disaster for Lundgaard. But yeah, he will be on reverse grid pole, so he's actually got a great opportunity, does Vips, to score some big points. It'll be Jane Deruvla in second position, so 2 Red Bull cars on the front row, followed by Richard Vashaw, Roy Nassani, and then myself starting in 5th. So that is the top 5 on the grid for sprint race 2. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens there. Like I was saying, we do have a good opportunity. Vips as the championship leader and starting on pole, that could save this weekend for him. After a bad qualifying, getting into the top 10 and getting reverse grid pole is great news for him. So he'll be able to salvage something from this weekend, because the feature race, where he'll be starting outside the top 10 again, will be very, very tough. But yeah, for us, we need to come through the field. We're starting, like I said, in 5th position, so if we can come through and beat Vips, that will help us out in the championship fight as well. But yeah, that's enough blah blah, let's get into it.
Hello and welcome back to a classic circuit familiar to fans the world over. This is Monza. You can hear the cars ready to go. Certainly the fans are ready for some action. We're all set, so let's get this Formula 2 race underway.
Alright, so here we are on the grid then for sprint race 2 in Italy. Like I've said, 5th position on the grid, all sunny conditions, no stops. So let's just get straight into it and go to the 5 red lights. and it's lights out and away we go for Sprint Race 2 in Italy at Monza. It's a good start for us, a great one for Deruvala. It looks like the Indian driver's going to take the lead heading down towards the first corner, and we'll see what we can do. There's not really a lot of space for us to work with, so we're just going to have to slot in as we try and sneak round the outside. No, we can't get through there, and it's going to be Roy Nassani in third position as we head through Bent Viscal round the outside. And the Dutchman is going to try and get through as we give him a bit of a squeeze to the inside. Bit of contact made there, but we will maintain our position around the outside, and we'll hold off Bent Viscal and move ourselves back up into fourth position. But it is Jane Deruvala who leads the way from Vips, and Roy Nassani in third. We sit in fourth. It's been a bad start for Richard Verschoor. He's dropped down the order by a couple of places as we head through, and we sit on the back of Roy Nassani, and we actually give him a big hit into the second Lesmo. Roy Nassani quite early on the brakes there. I was, to be fair, missed my braking point, but yeah, that was a significant hit, and we're very lucky not to get any form of damage from that. Maybe a bit of front wing damage, but I don't think it's anything too serious. But yeah, that was a clumsy mistake for us there, and Roy Nassani, he may actually have some diffuser damage too, if well, he would be lucky to get away with it with a hit of that magnitude. But anyway, we will focus back on the race at hand as we sit behind Roy Nassani, and we try and sit as close behind as we can. And yeah, he's definitely got a bit of an issue at the back of that car, because he was so slow through Parabolica and losing a lot of time to Vips and Deruvala. But anyway, we catch up to them at the Della Rocha chicane, and as we head through, Deruvala's had a moment. Vips jumps on the brakes, we give him a big hit up the back, and Vips goes for a spin off circuit, and we are very lucky to still be in the race after that. But Deruvala, just off camera shot there, was having a bit of a slide. Vips jumped on the brakes, and we had no time to react, and we sent Vips spinning off the circuit. We've got damage. Vips has dropped down the order, and that is Bent Viscal, and Vips reversing in front of him.
Watch your pace.
What on earth?
Informed that the safety car is out. There appears to have been an issue with multiple stopped vehicles on the track.
No kidding. But here's the replay of that last bit. Off-board Vips reversing back onto the circuit. That is a no-no. I'm sure that would be a penalty of some form for Vips, because that was terrible. But anyway, yeah, we got away with that with no penalty, I guess. Like I said, Vips jumped on the brakes just sort of midway through the chicane there, which you don't usually do, as Deruvala was having that moment. Deruvala got away scot-free. He managed to save it and continue on. We have to come in for a front wing change, as you can see happening now. A new set of medium tyres on the car, so I don't know how this affects the rest of the weekend, because these are the medium tyres meant for the feature race, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Currently, we're trying to fend off cars behind on the restart, and that's a huge send up the inside for Larim Zendelli. He's passed so many cars there. We squeezed the letter onto the apex there. That was my bad. Just didn't give him enough space there, so it's unfortunate for the letter. But here's the onboard with Zendelli. That was 6, 7, 8 cars? I don't even know. That was insane. Zendelli with the move of the century down the inside into turn 1. We gained a few places, but Zendelli with an absolutely amazing restart there. But yellow flag ahead. Someone's come off the track, and that's a mechanical failure there for Ralph Boschung. Smoke coming out the back of the Campos car there, and Ralph Boschung is out of the race. Here's a replay of that, and yeah, you can see Boschung going slowly there, and a lot of smoke there coming out of his car. So unfortunate for Ralph Boschung, he's out of this one. But no safety car deployed for that one, so we can push on as we begin to put pressure on Samaya, and Samaya slicing up the inside and getting the move done on Christian Lundgaard, and we get past the Dane as well. So Lundgaard continuing to slip back even in this race, so Lundgaard having a dreadful weekend. But anyway, we look forwards. That is Liam Lawson going for a slide and a spin off the road backwards into the gravel trap goes Liam Lawson, and he will hopefully be able to get himself out of there. But yeah, Lawson just lighting up the rear tyres through Curva Alboreto, and Liam Lawson was beached in the gravel trap, and we need a safety car for that too. So we slow things down once again, but once the safety car goes in, we speed things up again and get back underway as we go for a big dive this time, taking a leaf out of Zendelli's book. and we make a bunch of places down into turn 1, round the outside, and this time we don't squeeze anybody onto the apex. We make sure we give room for Yuri Vips there on the inside. We've already made contact with him once this race, we don't want to do it again, and we've moved ourselves up into 10th position with that aggressive move down the inside, so that is great, that is what we needed. And now we may have another look. No, we can't quite get to the inside as we go for a hop over the curbs there. We gotta stop doing that, because that is inevitably going to damage the car. There's only so many times we can get away with doing that. But anyway, we continue on, and we're under pressure from Yuri Vips, but we're going to try and hold him off through Parabolica, and we will just about manage to do so as we maintain the position. But Yuri Vips is looking racy at the moment, but we should be faster than the cars around us. And as we continue on, you can see we are, but that was just a bit of a bad run out of Ascari that gave Vips an opportunity. We go for a really nice switch through the first Lesmo, and we get up the inside rather easily there.
Nice overtake
of Dan Ticknam, but yeah, with these fresher tyres that we have on the car, it's really paying dividends for us. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how this is going to affect the feature races. We get up the inside of David Beckman and move ourselves up into 8th position with a purple first sector on this lap. So that is the kind of pace we need to be showing. But yeah, we will just make the best of this race as we make the move around the outside of Guan Yu Zhou. We'll get through, give him a bit of a squeeze there, but we get ahead of the Chinese driver. Nonetheless, up into 7th position. Now we shift our attentions to Marcus Armstrong. And can we make a move to the inside? We'll look to the outside, and we'll make the move here to the outside of Marcus Armstrong, and we will make that one work. Armstrong very late on the brakes at the last moment there, but we get through nonetheless and get ahead of Armstrong. Next up is Marino Sato, as we sit behind the Japanese driver who had a strong finish to the last race. We make a mistake though through Ascari. We send ourselves off the road, but we manage to save it, but we lose a couple of places. Armstrong and Zhou now fighting away towards Parabolica and the Curva Alboreto, I should say. But yeah, that's dropped us down a couple of places. We continue on, and they're still fighting down towards the Variante del Rettifilio, as Guan Yu Zhou will have the outside line. He should be able to get the move done here as Armstrong's pinched in and Zhou gets through as we now sit behind Armstrong. Can we just sneak the nose in up the inside? Armstrong's going to give us the room, and we get through on the inside of Curva Grande. And now can we get Guan Yu Zhou potentially into the Della Roger chicane? No, not close enough to Guan Yu Zhou to go for that move, but we will just maintain this one ahead of Marcus Armstrong, and we've moved ourselves back into 7th position. But Armstrong's not done with us, because out of Ascari again we get a bad run, so we're really not going well at that part of the circuit. And we give him a hit into the final corner as we misjudged the braking point there, and Armstrong's going to hold on to the position for now, but we will have a good slipstream along the straight. Can we do anything along the run to the first corner? To the outside we go, and we will
16.5 seconds.
We will get back ahead of Marcus Armstrong along the straight. But I really need to stop this fighting and stop the mistakes at Ascari, because we should be fighting our way through the field, not fighting with the cars around us. So hopefully we can get a move on, but it's not happening, because again, out of Ascari, Armstrong gets back through. So we really need to work on our pace through that part of the circuit. But at the moment, it's an opportunity for Armstrong to continuously keep re-overtaking us. But oh, that's an issue there. And who is that? That is David Beckman having a bit of an off. That is at the Della Roger chicane. So a lot of drivers struggling with that part of the circuit. That's where Daruvula had that moment. And David Beckman not having a good time there either. But up the road, the race win is going to go to Jane Daruvula, but he's not actually the first to cross the line. That is Ben Viscal, but Viscal has a time penalty, unfortunately, so that's going to send him tumbling down the order.
Pick up rubber and bring it home.
And Daruvula will take the win. So a bit of an interesting situation up at the front of the field, but for us, we couldn't get any higher than P7. Teo Portier gets the driver of the day.
So as they climb out of the car, the Carlin team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The safety car made a big difference today, there's no doubt about it. I can be certain but it would have been a very different race and probably Podium 2 without it. What I do know is that they came out of that situation in a favorable position. The safety car really does alter the balance of the race.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raced some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance.
Well, he may not have been the first to cross the line, but Jane Deruvala takes Sprint Race 2 victory here in Monza. Second place goes to Richard Verschoor, P3 to Marino Sato.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Jack Aitken takes the lead of the drivers' championship. And here's how things are shaping up in the teams' championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. It was also a strong race from Trident this weekend. Fantastic work from the Italian team to move themselves further up the table. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
Well, there we go. That is the end of Sprint Race 2, and a bit of a weird one, to be honest. Good start, obviously. A really good start, actually. The launch off the line was very, very good, but everything started going a bit weird around the on the second lap. That little mistake from Deruvala offset the entire race as we hit the back of Vips there, but yeah, things got weird after that. There was a mistake for Beckman as well, which sent him into a spin at the Della Roccia chicane. So a very similar mistake to what Deruvala did and what I've been doing all weekend, but Beckman not able to hold it and going for a full spin there. But yeah, it's very strange. Vips, obviously disaster for him. He was sent tumbling down the order, and you can see Vips bouncing over the curbs there as well. The damage to the nose of our car there in full view as the front right corner of all the elements of the wing completely torn away, as well as damage to the actual cone itself. But yeah, once we got back underway, we saw the almighty dive. It was actually a really bad restart for us, that's why we were going 3 wide. But this almighty dive from Larim Zandelli. Look at the late braking there by the German. And then of course we tried our hand at that on the next restart, but yeah, it was a strange one. But nonetheless, it was enjoyable race to come back through, but I thought we would have more pace on newer tyres towards the end. There's Boschem pulling off the road in the background. But yeah, I thought with the fresher medium compound tyres we would have some more pace than that, and we'd be able to carve our way through the field a bit more. But I suppose, to be fair, they were only 2 laps newer, so I don't really know what I was expecting. 2 laps isn't a huge difference, so yeah, I guess that's why. That explains it. But yeah, I thought we should have, you know, at least some notable advantage. But it didn't really work out that way, and our progress kind of stalled out when we got to around 7th position. So yeah, definitely a bit of a missed opportunity, this one. But happy with the comeback we were able to make, given the circumstances. But I think we probably were capable of a bit more if we stopped making mistakes at Ascari. But oh well, that's the way it goes. Let's just move on to the feature race and do the best we can there.
Welcome everybody to the heart of Italian motor racing, Monza. We're here with Formula 2 for what ought to be an extravaganza of excitement and action. Let's head to the start line and get underway. Monza is situated 12 miles northeast of Milan. It's 3.6 miles long and offers 11 corners. 7 of those are chicanes, putting a premium on good braking stability and traction. With a good slipstream plus the 2 DRS zones available, there should be a number of good passing opportunities on offer. Let's take a look at the grid positions for today's race. Richard Verschoor lines up on pole position, with Jane Deruvala alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Aitken, Lundgaard, Marino Sato and Armstrong, Nissany, Piastri, Fiscal, Guan Yu Zhou, Tictum, Echarouz, David Beckman and Vips, Porcher, Dragovic, Zendelli and Robert Schwartzman, Lawson, Beauchamp, Samaya and Alessio Deleda rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So now we prepare ourselves for the final race of the weekend, and the tyre situation makes for pretty grim reading. The only medium set we have are the ones we just used in the last race. We don't even get the good set that only did 2 laps. We get the half-worn ones that did the whole race. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess it makes sense because those are the tyres assigned to this race, but it's unfortunate because we have to use them at some point, and they're already like half-worn. So it'll be tricky, but we'll see what we can do as we go to the 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go for the feature race at Monza. It's a great start for us, and we're going to immediately take the lead as we head down towards the first corner. From 3rd on the grid, it was a lightning start, and now we lead as we head into the braking zone. For the first time, we're leaving a bit of space on either side just to make sure no, we don't have any contact if anyone decides to send it on us, but we maintain the position and hold the lead as we head now through Curva Grande. Jan Darubala takes 2nd position, Vachor in 3rd from Armstrong, then Lundgaard making up the top 5. Lundgaard will be desperate to bring home some good points in this one after a decent qualifying but a disastrous weekend so far with no pace and a big hop over the curbs there immediately for us, and we've already got damage to the floor of the car from that, I think. So that is a disaster for us already in this race, but hopefully that won't affect us too badly. Usually you can get a bit of damage, especially in the F2 cars, without it affecting pace too badly. So that's unfortunate little hit over the curbs there on lap 1. We got away with it throughout the first part of the weekend, so it's not too bad, I guess. But as we continue on quite a distance into this race, we do eventually get passed by Darubala, who's on the outside. We're actually 3 wide as we head through turns 1 and 2. Darubala giving us the big squeeze, trying his best to give us some room, but a lot of contact was made between the 3 of us, myself, Darubala, and Marcus Armstrong, who's on the left there. We switch now to the outside of Armstrong. Can we get back ahead of the Kiwi driver as we've been losing pace over the last few laps because we've moved quite a distance into this race now. We go down the inside though of both Darubala and Armstrong, and we'll get back through here on Armstrong. We can't quite get Darubala, who holds on to the lead, but as I was trying to mention, we're on lap 7 now, so yeah, we're a decent chunk into this race. But anyway, as we continue on board with Darubala, he's really revving out the engine there between the 2 Lesmos, and it's cost him a bit of time. And now we're going to go to the right hand side of Darubala as we head along the back straight under the old banking and towards Ascari, and we should be able to make this one stick around the outside of Darubala, and we take the lead back as we get up on top of the curb, send ourselves over the grass, a bit of a slide on the exit, and that's allowed Darubala, Armstrong and Lundgaard back through, as now we're trying to fend off more cars. Marino Sato and Richard Ashore on the inside, and it's 3 wide for the race lead. That can't end well. Marcus Armstrong on the outsides gets squeezed out. We have to take a bit of avoiding action as Lundgaard takes the lead. So the driver who was lacking so much pace earlier in the weekend with some car issues is now leading in the feature race. This is what he needed for his weekend. Jane Darubala sits in 2nd. Can we do anything into turn 1? We're going to go up the inside of Darubala. Can we make this one stick? Darubala gives us a bit of room as we go around the outside of turn 2.
Alessio is coming in for a stop.
As Deleda is making a stop. He may have had a bit of an issue in the earlier phases of this one, or maybe he's got a dodgy strategy as well. We're going to try and make a one-stop work. Speaking of strategy, as we go now down the outside, as we get up on the grass on the entry there, but we will make the move on Lundgaard. As out of control as we were into the braking zone, we managed to get a stop to make a bit of contact there actually with Lundgaard. We were a bit aggressive with the movement back onto the racing line for us. We weren't quite clear of Lundgaard yet, but as we're being told to box at the moment, we're not going to. We're going to push these soft tyres as far into the race as we can to try and make a one-stop work onto that half-worn set of mediums. But honestly, I have to say the lap times we've been setting are pretty terrible, despite the fact we're in the lead. The outlook on this race is pretty grim, I think. But we'll do our best to see what we can do, but you can see the tyres are just in a horrible state, and it's We're fighting a very much an uphill battle at the moment. Roy Nissany gets past us. I don't know what his strategy is, but he's through anyway, and we will not be seeing too much more of him, I don't think, in this race, as we have a bit of a moment there on the exit of Ascari. That's not going to do our tyres any good, but despite the fact they're on 93% on the front left, we're not actually going to box yet. We're going to keep pushing on in this race for maybe one more lap and get the absolute most out of these tyres that we can. That's what they look like at the moment. They're not in a great state, so it's definitely a risk every lap we push on.
Drop back from the car in front by 2 seconds a lap.
And Roy Nissany 2 seconds a lap faster, but we've gone 18 laps on this set of soft compound tyres, and now they're really entering some dangerous territory. 98% on the front left, 99% as we head through Parabolica, and now we have to pit. We've got a puncture on the front left tyre as we head through Parabolica. That is as perfect timing as you're going to get if you're ever going to get a puncture. Get it as you're literally going to be heading into pit lane anyway, so that didn't really cost us any time. Maybe just we were a bit cautious going into the pit lane, but we go on to that set of medium tyres that we used in the previous race.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
And what's the damage? What is the wear on these tyres? I don't have the heads-up display on for the tyre wear at the moment, but I can tell you it's 47% on the front left on those tyres. So yeah, basically half-worn tyres, and we just about get ahead and maintain 15th position ahead of Ralph Boschung in this one. But yeah, there you go. There you can see the heads-up display, 47% on the front left. So it's going to be difficult for us to do anything with these tyres. They're already worse than everyone else's, and you can see we just have no pace. Boschung is going to get through here on the right-hand side, and we just have no defence to offer for Ralph Boschung, and we just have to sit behind the Swiss driver through the Curva Alboreto. One day I'll start saying the name right on a regular basis. But anyway, we're on the back of Ralph Boschung as we head along the straight. We've got a good run here. We'll go to the outside. Boschung tries to cover us off. There's a caution, and the safety car is out. And it is for Ben Viscal running into the back of a Adam's car. And Yuri Vips getting involved as well in the high-tech. And both of them, I think, are out of the race. What a disaster. What happened to Ben Viscal here? He was running straight into the back of Ben Viscal, looking to follow the slipstream, I think, of the cars ahead. Getting a bit distracted, running straight into the back of Bent Viscal. We go to the another angle. Smack! That is a huge hit for Bent Viscal and Roy Nissany. Nissany lucky he's still in the race. And in fact he's trying to challenge down the inside into turn 1. I think it was Schwartzman. But yeah, what a disaster for Bent Viscal. He's out of the race. Wheel off, and another big hit up the back from Yuri Vips. But we'll go to the onboard with the Estonian driver now. And we'll see. Oh, yeah. Just unfortunate for Vips getting involved in the incident there. Vips, I can confirm, is actually still in the race, but has significant damage. And we're going to make a stop now and go on to another set of soft compound tyres. These will be our qualifying tyres, so they're a little bit worn, but they're not too bad.
Release.
And these will take us to the end of the race.
Let's get some heat into those tyres.
And they should have some pretty decent performance. They may start to level off towards the end of the race, but for now they should be good, as Larim Zendelli retires from the race with a mechanical failure. And we go on board with Drogovic, who gets caught up as well, just clipping the side of Larim Zendelli, and that's damage for Felipe Drogovic. And the Brazilian driver, you can see, is going very slowly through this final corner. And Drogovic, I think, will surely peel off into the pit lane after that contact, and he does. So that's a bit of a problem there for Felipe Drogovic, a bit of a clumsy mistake. But anyway, we get going once again. We're in 17th position, and we need to do something here. We go for a big dive on the restart, and we immediately gain a couple of places back. And we'll try and get through and make the move stick on Jay and Deruvula, who's a long way down the order in this one, but we do get ahead of the Indian driver and move ourselves up into 14th position, as we now have to defend that one. We're going to turn defense into attack as we go for a big lunge up the inside of Zamaya, and we're going to get that one done around the outside. As we now look at a replay camera, it's 3 wide for the race lead. Marino Sato fighting away with Marcus Armstrong and Oscar Piastri, and they're all starting to get a little bit feisty, but it's Marino Sato who comes out on top. And look at David Beckman trying to get past Piastri as well on the exit there, so the fight for the podium places is well and truly on. Meanwhile, we're going to see what we can do to move up into the points. We go for another big lunge up the inside, and we're going to grab another 3 places here into, okay, now make that 2 places. We couldn't quite get up the inside of Liam Lawson, but that moves us up into 11th, or make that 12th, and now 13th, as both ARTs go either side. We're late on the brakes, too late, as we almost run into the back of Teo Porcher, but nonetheless we managed to avoid contact. Now side by side with Lundgaard through Curva Alboreto, and we sit in the slipstream of Porcher. Can we re-overtake Teo Porcher? What can Lundgaard do as we head down towards the first corner? Lundgaard goes flying past, and now he's going to put the pressure on Porcher. Samaya's there as well. Samaya makes contact with us. He swerves in the braking zone. We've hit the wall as well. We've damaged our car as we head through the barriers, smashing them all. We just can't make these corners no matter how slow you go. It's just physically not possible. But what on earth was Samaya doing? Just drifting across to the left there and then immediately swerving back to the right. But yeah, that was very weird from Samaya there, moving across on us. And
now we have P17.
that's dropped us back down into 17th position. And Nisani's got another problem with his car.
5.1 seconds. They're on old softs. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. Just 3 laps to go now. 3 laps. A new strategy is available on the MF.
And that was a big hop over the curbs as well. Nisani's been in the what on earth? That was huge elevation off the curb there. But yeah, Nisani's been in the wars today as the Israeli driver.
It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. You've taken damage to the side pods. Expect to feel a little drag. There's damage to the underbody. Expect to feel significant effects in terms of performance. The rear diffuser's taken a little damage, but the effect should be minimal for now. Grip is probably dropping due to wear, so don't be too aggressive.
And as we continue on, we hop over the curbs again. But there is the roll call of damage to our car. So yeah, we've been in the wars. Nisani's been in the wars, as I was just mentioning. We ran into the back of him earlier, and then Ben Viscar ran into the back of him too. So Nisani will likely have damage, which is probably what that issue is. Yuri Vips gets past us, but our race is over at this point.
Final lap of the race.
It was over from the start with the tyre selection we had, to be honest. So yeah, it was always going to be a tough one, but frustrating. We go for a dive up the inside of Vips, we don't quite get there, but yeah, that's it for this one really. There's not really much else we can do. We managed to stay with Vips for the lap, so Vips has got a penalty, so we'll probably get this position off him anyway, but we're going to fight for it just for the fun of it really. And we do get back through as we head through Ascari, but yeah, in the end it's not really going to make a difference because he has a penalty. So he gets back past us on the run towards Curva Alboreto. But around the final corner comes Marino Sato. He's going to take maximum points here as he wins the feature race at Monza. The Japanese driver takes victory. Trident will be over the moon. It's their home race, so happy times for them. We run into the back of Vips. We completely missed our braking point heading into the final corner. And
incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately,
no kidding, Jeff. That was our incident. Our incident. But yeah, we crossed the line behind Vips, but we'll get the position in the end anyway. But yeah, a very frustrating race, but we lost that race when we crashed with Vips in the sprint race, really. So, yeah.
Great work from the Trident team. They take a famous win here today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what else occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
It's the part we've all been waiting for, the podium finish, and it's probably one of the more unexpected finishes in a while. Trident take the victory, and Trident have made huge strides within F2 recently, And today proves that they're not only still in the race, but they're in it to win. Congratulations to everyone on the team.
So Marino Sato takes stride into victory at their home race. Second place goes to Marcus Armstrong with David Beckman in third.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. On to the teams then. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Carlin moved up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'll be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So we hold our championship lead, but Piastri in third is actually really closing up. He's had a very good weekend here in Italy, so he could be a late contender for the title. We'll have to see. But it's been a weird season so far. There hasn't really been any particular standout drivers. It's been a very mixed bag, which makes things very, very interesting and close in the championship fight. I mean, there's a whole host of drivers who could get in the fight with just one good weekend, and one bad weekend, conversely, will drop you a long way down the order. So it's a very interesting season with just 3 rounds to go. It really is time to start banking the big points, and we do finally, as I didn't quite probably mention as much as I should have at the start of the video, we do finally get a good qualifying in this round P3. We've been hit and miss with qualifying so far, so to get a solid qualifying result is good too. But yeah, this race was frustrating. There was nothing we could have done really. It was always going to be difficult with a compromised tyre allocation, but yeah, there was. We just ran out of tyres. We used the first set of soft tyres until they were 100% worn. We got the most out of those, and we switched onto the mediums, and they were still terrible. They were entirely unusable. And then that last set of soft tyres, they were okay for a bit, and then I think they fell off the cliff. And then of course we got the damage as well, which also didn't help. So there were a variety of things that come together there. But yeah, that hit with Samaya there as he swerved in the braking zone. But to be honest, we were already losing a bit of pace before that, so whether I got some damage that I didn't notice earlier in the middle of the race somewhere while that was going on, I don't know. But yeah, it was a frustrating race, and there's that last lap dive on Vips. But yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments, and I will see you next time. See you later.